Hello YouTube, my name's Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and another episode of DNA Saturday, which is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in DNA bombs. That was the Gray class we're going to be using throughout the entirety of this gameplay. If you would like, you can go back and pause the video to get a good look at the class, but keep in mind I will be talking about the perks and the attachments and the weapon itself periodically throughout this video, primarily the weapon, because this is actually the first time we've had the Bulldog shotgun actually featured here on DNA Saturday. This week's actually pretty cool, so we've got two first-time guests here on the channel for both episodes, as well as two never-before-seen DNA bombs that have been featured here on the show. So we're using different guns and different strategies and things like that that have never been featured on the show this week, so that's definitely a pretty cool thing. This first one is a game of Uplink here on the map Biolab, running around the Bulldog, and it was actually sent in by a guy that goes by the name of Hoppy Gaming, who of course will be talking about his YouTube channel here towards the end of the video. So the strategy we're using throughout this, he's basically playing middleman, right? You usually see that a lot if you watch DNA bombs pretty frequently here on YouTube like I do. When you see Uplink DNA bombs, it's usually them playing the middleman, right? Very rarely are they the person that's running around grabbing onto the ball and trying to do all the scoring and whatnot in Uplink, right? It just doesn't happen that way. You're usually playing middleman. You're usually running around in the middle area of the map trying to cut off the opposing team from taking the objective to your portal, and you're trying to help your team get closer to their portal. That idea, right? And that's what he really does throughout the entirety of the gameplay. There's no real set strategy like he stays in one particular area or anything like that. I was actually previewing, like I do every single week, a lot of other DNA bombs, and there were certain ones like that were also on this map that were like staying in this one specific area, but this one's not like that. This one's actually a lot different, where you're basically just running around the entire time, basically chasing the people on the UAV, and you'll be seeing that a lot throughout this video, just going towards where the opposing team is, because that's how you have to play a shotgun, right? You have to play a shotgun that way, which actually, it's kind of nice having a Bulldog DNA bomb here. We've had some other ones submitted before, but I thought this one was a little bit better than the ones that were submitted before this. I like it a lot, actually, this DNA bomb, and it's pretty cool because it's actually there for completeness. You know, you look at the fact that we had TAC-19 DNA bomb sent in, we've had S12 DNA bomb sent in, and now we're going to have this. For the sake of completeness, I think it'd be pretty neat if by the time Advanced Warfare's life cycle is over and we're playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I would like for DNA bombs to be featured here on the show from every single primary weapon in the game, not counting all the different variants, because that'd be kind of absurd. Like, not only are we going to have DNA bombs of all the different weapons, we're also going to have it with all the weapon variants. That would be an absurd amount of videos, but at least having it so every single weapon was featured once on DNA Saturday, I think that would be a pretty cool thing. So as we get closer to halftime here, let's go ahead and start talking about this career class. What are we using here on the Bulldog to make it good? Now, keep in mind, I am a pump action shotgun player. I talked about this in the S12 DNA bomb that we posted up here to the channel. I'm not a big fan, right, of the semi-automatic or the full auto shotguns. I'm just not a giant fan of them. I prefer pump actions and double barrels. I'm very old school when it comes to my opinions on shotguns. So I don't use this gun a lot, so I'm not going to really have too much to say about this class, so we're just going to go with what he has and assume it's a good setup, although I can definitely see how some things are working with this class setup. So in terms of attachments, they all seem to make perfect sense for the style of gameplay that he's actually implementing here. So he's actually using extended mags, adjustable stock, as well as advanced rifling. If you're noticing throughout the entirety of this gameplay, he's aiming down sights. He's never hip firing like you usually see people using with a shotgun. They usually run around hip fire, right? He's actually ADSing the entire time, and he's actually strafing back and forth using the stock to help out with that, as well as his advanced rifling, which is just a common attachment for shotguns, right? You need advanced rifling on shotguns. It's the equivalent of long barrel. It's the equivalent of the range proficiency. It's an attachment that makes shotguns better, right? Well, the one downside to a shotgun is usually its lack of range, and this is going to alleviate that a little bit. Of course, here in perk 1, we've got low profile. Perk 2, peripherals, right? Peripherals, starting to see that a little bit more now. A lot of people are starting to like that perk. As well as in perk 3, we've got blast suppressor as well as scavenger, and I understand that. Having scavenger on there would definitely be pretty good for a shotgun like this, where you're spraying through a lot of shells pretty quickly, as well as toughness, which is usually a perk I recommend everybody use on all of their classes, is not so mandatory on shotguns. It just really isn't. It's not really a mandatory perk. You can definitely go along with something else other than that if you would so like to. That's the very nature of shotguns. You don't really, a lot of the time, are going to see a benefit from something like toughness, which is going to give you reduced flinch when somebody is shooting at you. It's either you're going to get that one-hit kill on them close range, or, you know, several hit kills depending on what shotgun you're using, or you're not. That's really kind of the nature of the shotguns, right? That's what I like most about shotguns, is you have to get so close to people. You have to just just bam. It's the best part, man. Shotguns are just so much fun. You guys know I love using that. But we're actually going to go ahead and start wrapping up the DNA bomb here. Right here, when he jumped out towards the portal here, I'm like, how is there not a guy waiting for him? Like, when I was watching the gameplay, I assumed there'd be a person down there waiting for him, just because of my own personal experience in Call of Duty. I'm like, there would be a guy waiting for me down there if I were to go that way. But he ended up going that way, ended up not dying, which was pretty interesting. Goes around the corner here, gets this guy, and now we're going to continue on our streak because we're actually very, very close to actually acquiring the DNA bomb itself. Just waiting for more people to show up on the minimap. You see the opposing teams actually all spawning here in this building. He's going to run up and pick up that guy, and pick up that guy as well, as he's already gotten the DNA bomb. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, running around, getting 30 kill streaks. It's just nice overall gameplay with the Bulldog shotgun. It's pretty cool to see people doing this well with the shotgun, regardless of my own personal biases and opinions. Like, just because I don't like to use semi-automatic and full-auto shotguns doesn't mean other people shouldn't try them out, because they're obviously very, very good. And I already talked about how awesome the Striker was back in Modern Warfare 3. It's just something about the way the Bulldog looks. It's something about the way the S12 looks. It's like, I just don't even enjoy using it or even looking at it. So I just have like no motivation to use it. But they're definitely very good shotguns, and it's definitely cool to see people doing that well with a shotgun here in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So there we go with the final score. We got 53 kills and 7 deaths, also with 2 uplinks. We didn't see that, of course, during the DNA bomb streak, because how many people are playing uplink, getting DNA bombs, and scoring at the same time? Like, that would just be absurd. But that's a pretty good overall gameplay. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel it deserves. And if you guys would like to submit your DNA bombs for next week's episode of DNA Saturday, simply watch the video. It's on your screen right now. There's an annotation that you can click, as well as a link to it down in the video description. Be sure to go ahead and check out that video, because it will tell you everything you need to know about submitting your stuff for DNA Saturday. If you guys would like to go ahead and check out Hoppy Gaming, who of course was the player who submitted this very nice Bulldog DNA bomb, you can find him on the annotation on your screen, as well as a link to him down in the video description, because he actually is under 500 subscribers, therefore does not have access to be able to make himself a custom URL. So if you guys want to check him out, once again, there's an annotation on your screen, as well as a link to his channel down in the video description. So, like I say, he's a first-time guest here at my channel. Over on his YouTube channel, he posts a nice variety of video games, including Advanced Warfare, Battlefield 4, Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare, as well as a Let's Play of Alien Isolation. He says he just likes to post for fun. You can tell that when you watch his videos. He just posts for fun. He posts what he wants to post. So if you guys want to go ahead and check him out, go ahead and do so. I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of DNA Saturday. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.